Hello, everyone. I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly Meltdowns coverage of Big Brother 23. With me, as always, is Tyler and Andrew, the hustler, and the queen herself, Kim Matina, and this guy you might recognize in the bottom right corner. I think he goes by Frenchie, Brandon Frenchie French. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, you're like the first person from an actual ongoing season to come on our show while the season is going. We had someone promise to come on years ago and they never showed up. I'm not going to mention names, but you are the first person.
I was about to.
Yeah. But thank you so much for joining us. I was just thinking to myself, it's kind of ironic that Kyland is HOH again, and you went out on his HOH. It's like I feel like this is a full circle moment.
Yeah. Hey, that old donkey costume looks pretty good.
You like that jackass costume?
Yeah, I like it.
You feeling that?
He's got the long pants version and the shorts version.
That's right.
Well, Frenchie, how do you feel that Kyland's HOH is going this time around compared to when he took the shot at you?
I mean, Azah kind of said it best, in my opinion, in the live feeds the other day. It was just like no comment. So.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly like a different tone than like the first time he had HOH, and it's interesting to see him getting like all this pushback, especially from Azah. So I want to hear from you because like all three of the jokers that you were with are still in the house, and Azah's like starting to give Kyland a little bit of a tough time. Like, how do you feel about the jokers, like their position in this game so far?
Well, first of all, I want to say this: I'm Team Jokers for life.
Okay.
And
all right. Understandable.
I love all of them to death, and they'll figure it out. They're smart. Everybody on the Jokers is smart. You know, they were picked for a reason, and they're beasts. It's gonna show here pretty soon. You know, I got taken out on Kyland's last HOH, which I'm not bitter about at all. If I do seem kind of bitter, it's definitely not because of me getting taken out on his HOH. It's just seeing my best friend.
Yeah.
You know, that you know, for seeing him up there for the first time.
I want to expand on this Joker's aspect just a little more, because this is something we had talked about in the very beginning of the season as it started, was the fact that this CBS advertised as the first time ever that the house guests got to pick their own team. How did you feel that successfully or not successfully came across with the slot machine process of giving you two options instead of you just getting a schoolyard pick?
I think with the fact that they did two options instead of a schoolyard pick, it actually helped, to be honest with you. With your traditional schoolyard pick, I mean, we've all been in elementary school and middle school. We know how that turns out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm picked last.
Yeah.
I'm always picked last.
So for CBS to be like, no, here's two options. You know, I thought it was great personally.
Cool.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and now that like the teams are like officially broken up, right? Like it's really surprising to me how like it's still such a like a power group in like in the game. Like, of course we have the Cookout, we had the Royal Flush, like not so much anymore, but like even amongst like those two big like mega alliances are still like the teams being like pretty prevalent in this game. Does that surprise you, Frenchie, in terms of like how important the team structure is this late in the game?
No, this season started with a herd mentality, and it's going to way. You know, the team structures are still going to even without. So people can have alliances, but you know, at the end of the day, Derek F, Azah, Brittany, you know, I know that they're going to stick together.
Yeah, and I think that they should. Like we talked last week on the show about how, like especially coming down this pipeline here, like the three Jokers being so in lockstep. Like I just want to like shake them and like have them realize like you guys have the power in this house. Like you are a solid structure of three people voting together in lockstep every time. So like if you wanted to keep Christian last week, guess what? You had the power to keep Christian last week, and you didn't have to talk to anybody except for your own teammates and come to that conclusion yourself. So I just want them to just like have a little bit more confidence in themselves as an alliance, right?
Right. And I told Derek F, Azah, and Brittany before I left. They asked me, you know, who's the one person in the house that you can just really trust? And I told them, I said, Sarah Beth. Like, get with her, and you four will have those four numbers throughout as long as you guys are there. And if they did that, then they would be okay. You know, they would have the ability to save themselves on whatever they wanted.
Yeah. The problem is I feel like Sarah Beth is like, she has like too big of a target that she just can't seem to escape. And it's been that way for a few weeks. So do you think that like they're kind of just like afraid to kind of like associate with Sarah Beth because the target is so big on her?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. When in that house, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. There was a lot of keeping with the house and what the house wants. And, you know, whoever was HOH that week, it's whatever you want, man. Or you know what I mean? Like, whatever you want, we'll give it to you.
Did you feel that way when you were HOH?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they were all sucking up to you while you were HOH.
I wouldn't say really sucking up, but
they were.
I knew. Look, in my heart, I knew that like it was that way just because I was HOH, and next week I was going to be in trouble. I knew it.
So with that hindsight retrospective, how would you have changed that now, knowing what you do to either filter that, or like what for future people going on the show? What's the way to handle that kiss-assery?
Can I find my bullhorn real quick? For future people, shut the hell up. Don't make promises. Like, that was my two biggest things. Like, shut up and don't make promises. If I ever went back in, that would be my two things. Just shut up. If I would have shut up and just not made so many promises, or not went into the season saying I'm going to do something, which I had every intention, and at the end of the week I did do what I said I was going to do, but if I wouldn't have done none of that and I would have just played for me instead of what the fan in me wanted to see, I would have gone a lot further.
I feel like that's always almost every day the week of your HOH and say, Frenchie needs to shut up. Frenchie needs to stop talking. Frenchie,
I did say that.
And we probably talked 20 times during HOH.
Southern people can't shut up. That's we talk constantly. It's a thing. Okay.
You know what, I'm surprised.
I'm going to defend him on that.
I'm surprised I didn't tell look at anybody and just be like, bless your heart.
Oh my God. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. But let me ask you something, Frenchie. You're a diehard fan of the show, as we all are. And we all sit there and we all sit here and we watch this show every season. And it's like, my God, if I was in that house, this is what I would do. This is what's going to happen when I'm on this effing show. Do you hear me? And you get on the and it's like, let me ask you something. When you get in there, does your mind just kind of go blank and everything that you thought you were going to do flies out the window? Like you end up, I'm not making promises to anybody night one. Okay, during the HOH competition, you promised 3 people safety. I mean, it's kind of like you end up doing things you said you wouldn't do because you don't know what you're going to do until you're in the situation. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you what, I was somebody very influential and Big Brother called me yesterday. You might know him, Donnie, season 16.
Yeah,
Donnie.
He called me yesterday, and he was like, "Look, it is what it is. Things happen. Everybody that's on the couch right now is not going to understand what it's like to walk through them doors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what, you're right. Because I used to sit on that couch and watch the show and being like, oh my God, I could have done that so much better. Like, and then,
Yeah.
explosion, chaos, week one. I knew I wanted to create some paranoia in the house and a little bit of chaos, but I didn't think I was going to cause that much chaos. Between the wild card comp and all that, it threw so many loops. And then Julie putting a target on me night one. I'm just going to be honest. Like when you tell the whole house that hey, you basically won 3 competitions on night one.
It's like, thanks, Julie. Moonves.
Thanks, Julie.
I felt like there was just eye beams like staring at me after that third potential comp, and that's why I went over. I was just like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Well, and just so everybody knows the whole story too on Frenchie keeping quiet, I was literally texting with his sister, and I said, okay, Kyland, you can be on a flight to LA. I can drive over there, be there in 4.5 hours. You hold him down. I'm duct taping him shut. And we were this close to doing that, but
I wish you would have.
Hey, but Frenchie, I truly feel like you set the precedent for this season to be the total opposite of what we had last year, which you as a fellow super fan totally understand that that is not what we as the viewers want to see in Big Brother. And so I really felt like you got the ball rolling for targeting different types of people that usually make it to the end of the game and win. And I really feel like it's all thanks to you for kind of setting that culture in the house forward. So as chaotic and you going down in flames as it was, I'm so glad that the first chapter of the book that is Big Brother 23 is the Frenchie saga and the repercussions that I think Azah's Kyland asked Azah, who do you think is the most influential person in the house this week? And she said Frenchie. So Frenchie's legacy lives on, man.
And it's been brought up a couple times since.
Yeah.
And, granted, she was saying it kind of tongue in cheek, but at the same time, not so much.
Yeah,
and I think there were people that realized that.
Yeah.
I've heard a couple times people have asked me, they're like, is yours and Derek F's bond real? Look, I went on and saw a picture today of the I think it was the OTEV comp.
Yeah.
And there was our little berry things were together on there. So if CBS knew it and everybody else knew it, there's your answer. Just watch the OTEV comp. That's all I'm gonna say.
Now
Yeah.
I have to say, and I've already gotten backlash in the chat for asking hard-hitting questions. I didn't have a problem with a lot of the decisions and the things that you made. I thought it was great. As a super fan, you did it. I need more explanation on what you were thinking when you tried to create an all-women's alliance.
Sorry. Can you say that one more time?
I agree with most of the moves you made. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought your one-on-ones are great, but I need a little more explanation in what you were thinking when you tried to create an all-women's alliance.
That would have been, to me, coolest thing I've ever done. And I stick by that 100%. And if that, no, think about this for a second, because I laughed at myself a lot too when I got home and thought about it. Okay, I did. I laughed at myself, but then I got home and I was like, you know what? If them girls would have actually stuck together after everything, every guy on this show would have gone.
Yeah,
they would have had the numbers for everything. Every man could have went first. Period. They could have
and certainly this season, it is a legitimate thing to be worried about. We saw Derek F mentioning tonight, I'm worried about the girls taking over, and I don't think it should be a guy this week. So clearly that is something that could have been happening. So yeah, I don't know.
Execution was poor.
Okay. I will accept that answer.
Fair enough.
Have you ever had this thought in your head and you're like, yes, it's gonna work, and then it you try to execute it and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Frenchie, that happens to me every night when I try to do the show. I have a way I want to do something, and then Tyler opens his mouth, and then it's just all Like, oh, let's do that. No, it's like he's the parent and I'm the child. But I just want to say, I've been saying this for a couple of weeks and getting so much shit for it. But I've been saying, don't sleep on Derek F.
No,
Y'all better stop sleeping on him. Exactly. And we don't sleep on him. And
can I tell y'all something? Look, it's easy to think something from a TV screen, but let me tell you, I've bear hugged that man. Okay. That man is as stout as an ox. Okay. He is muscle. When I tell you, like, it's muscle. Don't let this man fool y'all. He's tough. He is tough. And when he wants to hit that switch, he's going to hit that switch and all hell's going to break loose.
Yep. I believe it.
It almost happened last week. He almost did that with Tiffany last week.
Look, let me tell you. Okay. If they don't, for the people in the chat, if they or whoever, if they don't believe that, let me tell you, this is coming from the person that brought you that said Christian and Alyssa would be in a showmance. Check. That, we won't go into that one. And a few other things that
I'm very intrigued about what that one you don't want to get into is.
I look. All right. I said that Kyland would win more than one HOH when I got out of the house. My family and I was talking, and it was like, do you think you were his big move of the season? And I said, well, yeah, but at the same time, I think he's going to get one more in, at least. And they were like, you're crazy. And I was like, no, I think he's going to get one more in. And lo and behold, look who's HOH this week. Oh, am I supposed to say that?
No, I mean, that's totally fine.
Okay.
Definitely the biggest comp threats of the season are, of course, Derek X, Kyland is up there, Xavier is up there as well. We've been seeing the guys winning pretty much a majority of all the competitions except for Brittany's veto win this past week. But I don't know. I just in terms of Derek F and I kind of had this thought going with the show tonight as well. Him and Azah, I feel out of the entire Cookout, and I would love to hear your thoughts on the Cookout, Frenchie, as a whole alliance structure and everything. But I feel those two in particular are very take in this alliance without giving any comp wins, without giving any strategy, and maybe you can give me some insight onto some strategic prowess that either of them have, because I was not seeing it on the show. I haven't really seen it on the feeds.
Azah tried for this HOH.
What's that?
Azah tried for the HOH.
That's true, but it upset me when she's giving Kyland such a hard time about not throwing it to her, where she easily could have just won the competition just he did.
Yeah, but at the same time, everybody knows what happens when Kyland gets HOH. You can't ask him questions. You can't ask him what his thoughts are or nothing because he's not going to tell you.
Yeah,
it's just he wants all the information for himself, and he's not going to talk or mediate or give you anything back. So everybody in the house knows that. So why are they supposed to give their information out when he's not giving anything back in return?
That's true, and especially feeling protected under the Cookout. There's almost no incentive to give him that information because there's this understanding that we're going to be safe anyway, right?
It's nothing against him, but if that was the case, even in my week that I got evicted, had it been somebody else, if I would have been asked, oh, well, you can't ask me anything, but I want to know what your thoughts are. Being Frenchie, I'm going to tell your ass to kick rocks because I ain't telling you nothing. If you ain't going to share the information, I'm telling you nothing. But that's just how I personally am. You got to give to get. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So that's how I am. But
so
Azah and Derek Effer are starting to realize also they're going to stop giving him what they want, what he wants, if he's not giving anything in return.
Yeah.
And last night on the feeds, actually, Xavier came right out and told Azah, don't feed him that information. Don't give it to him. Tyler had to dip for just a second, but Allison, they're going crazy over here in your comments going, how come Allison's not saying hi to all of us tonight?
Oh, well, because I'm okay. I'm sorry. I've dropped the ball. Let me say hi to everybody in the chat. I apologize. B Bean, Dolores L, Joseph Boza, Sam Higdon, everybody, we love you. I'm so sorry. Allison Acidland. I'll never go over that name. Let's see who else is in here. Hamza. Well, hello, Hamza. Ivy Jones, Dolores L. I've already said that one. My mother, June Edwards, everyone spam her. Iron Wolf. Let's
Hey,
see.
who's that Hamza person?
Hamza?
Yeah.
Hamza is from.
I don't think it's the same Hamza.
No, that's not my Hamza from
That's
BB
the
King.
Hamza.
It's
Hamza.
not?
No, it's a different Hamza.
Okay, because I was supposed to. Okay, so Hamza, Deb, Gogren. You know, I think
Yeah.
Frenchie knows Deb, and yeah, I don't think that's the same Hamza from Sequester and all that.
It's not the one that Kim beat in an elimination match on Sequester.
Yeah,
I like mentioning that.
and my son,
Hey, do you want to know
Master.
something funny about Sequester that I've never told anybody?
Oh
What?
God, what? Tell us.
I thought, well, I don't want to say anybody because Kim knew. But I actually applied for
Oh.
Sequester. Yeah. Like, I adore Audrey. Like,
Yeah.
what she's doing is great, in my opinion. And it gave me amazing entertainment all through COVID. So I applied for season 4.
Okay.
Oh.
And I did get a call back.
Oh.
I ended up having to politely decline because at that time, 22, I think was that 22, Kim?
Yeah, 22.
22, yeah. So that's when I got my call back from 22. Well, I didn't get a call back from 22. I was recruited for 22.
Mhm.
And I was starting to go through that process, so I had to politely decline. But I had that not happened, you know.
Did you?
So I have. Go ahead.
Have you seen that Audrey posted part of your video?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, it is out there. I think your sister saw it, but right after they released the cast, she just posted probably 20 seconds of it. But it did include you sitting on the toilet, Frenchie.
Yeah. I'm just not. Look, I'm the type of person where, like, you only live once. You know what I mean? Like, why be ashamed of yourself and who you are? And if it includes sitting on the shitter, then it includes sitting on a shitter. You know, like, we get recorded like 24 hours a day in this house. Like, you know, if they wanted some footage like that, I'm sure there's plenty of it in there. But
Yeah.
They actually have a camera in the actual toilet area. There's actually a camera in there.
Absolutely. And
Well, I mean, there's been multiple times that they've used the footage from that, from the toilet room when what's her face passed out.
Victoria
passed out.
Or when Nicole used like a toothbrush on in the toilet because they were like mad at somebody in Big Brother 2.
Yeah, that was like what, season 2, right?
Yeah, so they don't like watch people like taking a shit or anything, but it's in there just in case like something like a moment that they need to explain on the show happens. So
just like the cameras over the showers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's for when stools are used.
They're also there for safety reasons. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't realize that. Like, they have to be in there, you know, for reasons, you know.
Frenchie, I have 2 quick questions, and these are not really game currently, but they're kind of process questions. As I said earlier, I was in the Hustler, and when I got done, Kim yelled at me as she was walking to her car, and then I, of course, called my wife. And the first thing my wife said to me was, "Is there anything stupid that you said that you would regret?" What's the first thing your wife said to you when she got to talk to you after the?
By the way, the answer to that was yes. I'm just going to say that.
Story for another day.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, never mind. I thought she was up here. I was going to let her tell you, but yeah, I got a few choice words. You know, like I'm not going to lie about that. I got a few choice words, like played super hard, should have shut your damn mouth, things like that. Yeah.
For sure. My second question is, you mentioned earlier that you were recruited for 22, and I know you've been a super fan that I'm sure has probably gone through this process and cast and videos. What would you say now? This was the first year we had a new casting team. Is there anything you can say comparatively about the difference between being casted for a season previous in 23 to this season today?
Look, I will always love and adore Christopher Catalano. He will always hold a special place in my heart. But I tell you what, Jesse is amazing. I absolutely adore and love Jesse. Like he's look, the first time I ever talked to Jesse, I think he wouldn't mind me saying this. The first time I ever talked to Jesse, I was like, he like started talking, like I was totally not even paying attention to what he said, because when he smiled, it was like the holy grail of like perfect white teeth right there in front of you. And I'm just like, I can't even pay attention because your teeth are so white. Like, yeah. So like, I don't know, like if he thought I was dumb when we first spoke, but like I literally couldn't say much because I was just like staring at his teeth, and I'm like, my God, you got perfect teeth. That was my first words to Jesse Tenenbaum was, my God, you got perfect teeth. Like, so yeah, they're very nice, all of them, but they're also not going to take your shit either. That's just how Jesse and them work, and that's how they should work.
Yeah.
Third quick question, and then I'll turn it over. You mentioned earlier which Hamza was in the chat. As we all know, we just had a celebrity Big Brother fight night 2 weeks ago that Kim was at. Would you step into a boxing arena? And if so, which alumni would you want to pick?
Ooh, good question, Andrew.
Boxing? I don't know. Maybe. If it was like an octagon?
And who against?
Whoever.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not. Don't twist this like, oh, Frenchie said he could beat up anybody. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh
No.
Welcome to the internet, right?
I wouldn't, right.
Right.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be scared.
Right. Fair enough. Cool.
Like,
Well, we'll hold you to that for the second one, whenever that is. And Kim is here as our witness to all of that. So I have a few questions from our patrons, just about like the game and everything like that. So this one is from our patron Dominic Capello. What were your long-term goals in terms of like who was your ideal final two with?
Derek F.
Derek F. And why Derek F? Like just from like personal connection with him, or like did you think like I could probably like beat him in the end?
No, it's just literally from before the premiere even started. Okay, we were outside, and like I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but whatever. We're outside, and we like locked eyes, and like from that moment, it was like boom. All right. So when we finally got the chance to talk to each other on the balcony, like we talked about it. It was like, let's work. You remind me from home. You remind me from home. And then when we finally got to the room downstairs, it was like, all right, let's solidify this. And that was, but I will say, Brent and myself, I adore Brent. Look, I misjudged Brent when I was first in that house. And after we spoke, I really enjoyed Brent and everything about Brent. I would not have been able to get rid of Brent personally. Somebody else would have had to do it because I couldn't have done it. Like to me, he's a great guy. Even outside of the house, he's a great guy. I wouldn't have been able to get rid of him. So if you're asking for like a second, somebody else that I took very seriously in the house, it was Brent.
Yeah, well, I remember he was like your first target, but then like after you guys like connected in that HOH room, you're like, I can't like screw over this guy. Like I like feel like too close of a bond with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people won't understand that, but we didn't just. I don't know, when you have a tragedy and stuff like that, you can like bond over it. Like it's not just bond over, but like nobody that you speak to on a normal day-to-day basis will ever understand that. They will never feel those emotions that you felt. They will never feel that hurt and that pain, but he got it. And I understood that as soon as he said it, and the way that he started tearing his eyes up. Like, I knew from that moment, hey, here's somebody that gets it. Like, and it just, when we was talking about that, it just took it in a whole different like friendship level. And yeah, you're right. From that point, it was like, I can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't go on the block like everybody was yelling at me for. It's just, people sitting on the couch aren't going to be able to understand that. But
yeah.
Can I brag about something real quick?
Sure.
Tyler, shut up. Tyler, bring up the draft picks.
Yes. So
I want to brag for a minute.
So Frenchie, like
you have to apologize to.
So Frenchie, so every preseason now we do a draft, and like I don't know if you know this, Frenchie, but like this year we didn't have any like video or like audio interviews before like the season started. Basically, all we had was like the CBS Paramount Plus whatever like text bios and like an iPhone picture to go off of. So we didn't really have much, but here is our draft teams.
I called it the MySpace picks.
No, because if you notice Allison's picks, I had Brent and you, and I actually ended up with Claire by default because I had Christy first, and then she was gone and replaced with Claire. So I kind of ended up.
Hard. Have you had the chance to like get to know her or meet her?
Who?
No.
Who?
Christy.
No, we haven't met Christy yet.
Sweetheart.
Is she? Mm-hmm. Is she cool?
Yes, absolutely. I enjoy.
Is she worth the $75 on Cameo? Is the question.
Yeah, like your Cameo is cheaper than hers, and you were actually on the show.
My Cameo goes to like I'm waiting for it to hit a certain amount, and then I'm transferring that over to the charity I'm working with.
Oh, that's sweet. That's
great.
That's why I'm doing it. And also, I believe if I read it right, that's similar to what she's doing too.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
I think hers is going to the alopecia.
Right.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean, all these people that are like, she's not worth $75. I mean, people act like we're stuffing our pockets with these things. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's not the case.
Yeah.
I mean, if I knew it was going to a good cause, I'd pay $1,000. You know what I mean? So
well,
to each their own. You know.
Frenchie, who do you think has the best draft team out of Allison?
If you would have asked me day one, I would have said Alice.
Thank you.
There's some comp beasts. Actually, there's some comp beasts in that whole. All four have won competitions in that. Look,
Yeah.
you got almost 3 competitions with me. Claire won the team captain,
The wild card. Yeah.
and the wild card. And then Brent and Travis, they're studs. You know what I mean? They're like chiseled Greek gods. So why wouldn't you? Yeah, they're amazing people. So I mean, if we're talking day one, I would have said you probably would have had the winner.
Sam, I think that Allison and Tyler are watching the chat over here.
Yes. So let's see. So Sam said he had a question for you, but he hasn't said the question yet. So I'll be looking out for you in the chat for that, Sam. But so Frenchie, I want to shift gears to start talking about the Cookout and just this like mega alliance structure that has really taken this game by storm in like a very different way than Big Brother in the past has gone. And we are all like very, very happy for that here. But like, so when you were in the house, do you have any idea that the Cookout was even like a thing that was forming? And what do you think about their alliance at this stage in the game?
I'm going to say this answer for Derek F when he gets out. Because if I say it, everybody's going to say I'm full of shit. So I'm just going to wait for Derek F to come out of the house. Hopefully it's not till that confetti falls. And we can bring him on and
love that
question. So how about
I would love that.
So
I would love to ask like Derek
mark
F
it,
about the
Allison.
Cookout.
We'll get back to Frenchie
put that down?
to set you up with Derek F. And I'm going to interject here for just a second because this question's been asked on a few different podcasts, and Frenchie has answered it and said that Derek F told him the Cookout week 2. It wasn't while you were HOH, right? While they were on lockdown. And people are
Oh.
basically calling bullshit on it, saying, no, that couldn't happen. They don't talk game off that. For any old school Big Brother watchers, okay, especially feed watchers, how many of you remember them showing them going to the backyard, like during POV and stuff like that? And they were talking, and some game talk, but not a lot. But the big one was always when they went up to the HOH room and were locked in the HOH room, getting ready for either POV or HOH ceremony. And especially the girls would go into the bathroom. You'd see 2 or 3 of them go into the bathroom to do their hair and put on makeup, and they talked game. So I don't know what would make anybody think that there were no whispers of things like, there's a big alliance called the Cookout. What would make anyone think that that would be a lie, and why? So I'm glad you said we'll wait till DF gets out, because he's going to be able to validate what you said. But as an old schooler, I know that game talk happened. We all saw it.
Listen,
So
there are a bunch of people out there that think they know everything there is to know about this game, and they've never been in the house, and they want to call people out on shit they have no idea what they're talking about all day. Yeah,
I was one of those people.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I know everything about this, and they were like, nah, you don't. And I was like, okay. And when I got there, day one, threw me for a loop. I was like, yeah, I definitely didn't know about all this. Like, that's
my biggest fear is like, I've made it very far in the casting process for Big Brother. And it seems like it comes down to, what is your strategy and what are you going to do? And I have my little answer, but I'm not going to repeat it here, because I don't want to give away anything, please. But, but it always comes down to, I know the minute I set my toe in that house, I'm going to lose my mind and my brain's going to fall into my ass. And I'm going to forget everything. I'm going to join an alliance I would never dream of being in. And I might as well be the wall yeller, telling everybody everything, because I'm a Southern woman and we can't keep our mouth shut. It's so
just like
hard.
the Southern men.
Well, I'm in every corner. I'm in the blinds, dying on my neighbors. I've got to know what's going on all the time. And it makes me crazy when I don't.
Well, look, we get it honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like, come on, give the guy a break. It's everybody just stop. You weren't there. You weren't in the situation.
90% of people that are like, I hate Frenchie. His week was chaos. Look, I entertained. I'm there for entertainment.
And you succeeded.
Is there for entertainment and to win $750,000. We're not there to be the viewers. I don't give a shit what these people thought. Like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, I was there to win $750,000, and I was there to be entertaining. And you got a hell of a first 2 weeks of Big Brother. And, at the end of the day, if people don't like it, then they don't like it. So run and tell that. You know what I mean? Like, if people want something to go talk about, like, there's something else for them to talk about. I don't care. Like, I'm at my point now where I'm so fed up with, like, people sending me DMs of, like, negative things all the time. And I'm just like, block, 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 block. But I will tell you that the positives have by far outweighed the little 40 or 50 or 60 negatives that are in there. It's by far, like, so when you get told that, I don't know, just different things, the positives by far outweigh.
I have 2 quick questions about surrounding one specific topic, and that's the topic of notes. So my first topic is, I want to talk about the note your wife, I saw that on the feeds where you found it, I think, in a sock. How happy was she that note got through? What can you say about that note? And then in the same regards, I know you are cheering hard for Derek F. If you could give Derek F a note right now, hidden in a sock, what would it say?
Okay, so part 1 of this, I was extremely excited. I didn't even know that would be in there. The note, like, I'm sitting there pulling off these socks to put them on, and a little note falls out, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, security was tough going in there. Like, everything got taken apart. So I don't know how it made it through. But the little note said, I love you. Is what little piece of paper, and it said, I love you on there. And I immediately held it up to the camera, and I was like, it says, I love you. Like, I got a note from my wife, and they called me in the DR and was like, give me that. Like, okay.
Give it to us.
I saw that on the pizza. Alyssa was in the room with you, wasn't she?
Sarah Beth, I thought, right?
I can't remember who exactly was in the room. With
I think it was Sarah Beth.
Yeah, somebody. So, I mean, I was told that somebody was like, oh, it's a cheating note. How?
Yeah, no.
How's it a cheating note? You're not even in the house yet. God, people, listen to yourselves.
Right.
Well, I do remember in Big Brother 8, Evil Dick's son like coded like the HOH letter. Like the first letter of like the first sentence was like the initials for like who they thought he should target for the week, and like it was very very like coded like down to the letter and everything. Yes, exactly. But I always love these little like niche ways that like people can think of like ways to like break the game. And you're right, Frenchie. I am surprised that security like let that through.
Yeah. So when it came through, I was like, when it fell, like I was like, holy cow! Like you know. Because I didn't get an HOH letter.
Yeah.
So to me, that was my HOH letter.
Yeah. There you go.
This little piece of paper about this big.
Yeah.
It was,
when it fell out, I was waiting for you to hold it up and say like inspected by number 82. You know.
Hey, listen, my husband travels a lot for work, and I sneak little Post-it notes into his stuff saying "I love you" and he really appreciates that. So I can see, you know, that's very sweet. I love that
boost that gave me.
And
I'm sure.
Yeah, I had a little one that was sick while the second week I was in the house, and well, I can't really get into that, but
yeah.
Well, I have a question for you from Sam in the chat. He's asked a few times, so I want to make sure he's heard here.
He's our resident high schooler. He's a senior this year.
And he loves blonde women.
Yes. So in regards to that, so he wants to know what Whitney was like inside the Big Brother house.
He's in love with Whitney.
Whitney's great. Like, you know, like here's the thing. Whitney is an amazing mom. It's a parent. She loves her kids like I love my kids. Her character spoke a lot about her, the way she talks about her children and the things that she does with her children. She's a good person. If I was to tell somebody to find somebody to kind of like date, I guess you could say, like she's one of those like people with children tend to get passed over a lot, but I'm telling you, like somebody like Whitney is a catch. Do you know what I mean? Like,
totally agree. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Okay, so moving into so Sam, I hope you're satisfied with that answer.
Can I ask one real quick question?
Yeah,
Deb actually posted in here, and she just wanted to know: did they give you the note back?
No,
they did not give you the note back from your wife.
Mm-mm.
Oh, those bastards. Okay.
So I want to ask like a few more like game related questions from our patrons and everything. Yeah. So Frenchie, so like personal like friendship feelings aside, like who do you think is like who's most impressing you like strategically like game wise left in the Big Brother house?
Hannah. I've said it.
Yeah.
Stay out of the house, and I'm going to say it again. Hannah.
It's my girl.
If they don't watch her, she's going to take everything.
Who do you think is best positioned to like win the game right now?
Hannah. 100%. I'm just going to be honest. Look, she's got Derek X protecting her on one side. She's got the rest of the Cookout protecting her on the other. She's set. Hannah is set.
Especially Tiffany looking out for her so much, and like anybody that Tiffany's looking out for is going to be really set in this game because of how connected Tiffany is to everybody in the cookout and everything. How do you view like Tiffany as a player in this game? Because a lot of people are wondering like, is she going to be like one of the greats, like a Dan Giesling, a Derek Levasseur, a Vanessa Rousseau? People are like kind of comparing like her meddling to that. I get a sense that you don't feel the same way.
I wouldn't go Dan Giesling.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest. Is she a smart game player? Absolutely. Is she a good game player? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But is she Dan Giesling? No. There's only one.
Do you think she could win the game?
Yeah, I do. I think I think. Do I think Hannah could beat her? Absolutely. But if not Hannah, if Hannah goes out here pretty soon, I think Tiffany will take everything.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see a bitter jury or not?
It depends. If the rest of how 3 weeks goes.
I can see the Jokers being a very bitter block of jury members.
Yeah, look, I love Derek F to death, but I'm telling you, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Derek's going to be bitter.
I love Derek so much.
I wouldn't call it bitter. He's just going to tell you how he feels.
And I love that. That's the best thing in the world. I want to hear it. Right. I'll just, stab me in the front, not the back. I'd rather, see
exactly. It. And that's what I love about him. Like, he's going to tell you what he feels, and he don't care about your feelings when he tells it. I love that about him. So if that makes him a bitter juror, then it's going to make him a bitter juror. But he's going to tell you exactly how he feels.
Mm-hmm.
Azah too. Azah's the same way. Tell you exactly how she feels, and she don't care what you think about it. I love
Brittany. I mean, like we saw Brittany tonight, how like excited she was in the moment when she saw that she got the 100 BB bucks. I can just imagine like when she gets to jury, like whoever is the one that evicts her, whether it's Kyland evicting her this week or another week down the line. I could just see her like having the exact like opposite of the reaction we saw tonight, with like whoever is the one that ultimately gets her out, and like really taking that to jury and holding it against them a little bit.
Let me ask something. This is spoilery, so if you haven't, tune out and come back. But we know Kyland's HOH and he's nominated Claire and Derek F. Claire, she got some kind of veto. Is that right?
No.
She hasn't gotten anything. Nobody's gotten anything. Yeah.
Let's say that he's going to use it on her.
Okay. Well, here's what I've heard. They want to backdoor Brittany.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think this is a huge waste. I think it's stupid. Why would you? That is why. What is it, Frenchie, about Brittany that is making Kyland want to backdoor her so bad? What has she done?
Do you remember when the week I was evicted, she was on his radar that week?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just has it out for her.
Well, not only that, but like, so because like the Jokers are like a united block of like 3 votes together, right? And Brittany, she tried to lie about not having the 100. She said like, oh, I only got 50. And then she's like, just kidding, I got 75. Just kidding, I got 100, woohoo! And like we know Brittany can't like hold her emotions in very well at all. That really is like a sounding alarm to Kyland, is like, we need to target her because she has $100. She could easily win a power that could really shake up the cookout and me, Kyland specifically. So I think like her winning like that America's vote basically kind of sealed her fate, ironically, which is
I agree.
But
I hope not.
I hope not too. I'm not ready to see Brittany go quite.
I don't want Brittany to go.
Here's
no. Go ahead. Go ahead, hon.
At the very end, in a final 2 speech, okay, riddle me this real quick and me logically thinking away. What was your biggest move of the season? I got Frenchie out and I got Brittany out.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not. No,
we all need Brittany to be in the final 2 to give us a wrap.
Okay, Brittany is strong. She is a super strong person. She has every right to have a target on her strategically because she is tough. She's a tough woman that will not give up. But I just don't see where Kyland's coming. Like Kyland is so well protected. Why would you not take another huge threat? This game is about $750,000, not let's take out the jokers. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so who do you think Kyland should have taken out this week?
If he was smart, Derek X or Xavier.
That's what.
Yeah,
that's what I said was Derek X.
If I have $750,000 staring in my face at this moment, I'm taking one of those two out. They're the biggest two people in the house.
Yeah. And
I would have gone the other route. I would have gone Tiffany because of the problems that he's had with her and just that kind of petty
or that right there
argumentation. She's not. Yes, she's Cookout, but Tiffany is looking out for Tiffany and Tiffany only at the end of the day.
But here's the thing. They're not going to take out anybody from the Cookout until they get to the 6, unless there's someone forces their hand. But with that being said, trust me, I love Derek X. See, I got it right here. E-vote Derek X over here for the next $100. But strategically, from a game perspective,
right?
Who's more of a threat coming into the next HOH? Because Kyland can't play. So who's better to keep in the game, Derek X or Brittany?
Yeah. Look, I'm just going to be honest. I hope Derek X wins the next HOH, and I hope he takes out Kyland.
He's gonna. That's it. And that's exactly what he's going to do.
But that's what I hope he does, and then I want Kyland to feel exactly how I feel.
I feel like Derek X, if he were to win HOH, though, I don't think he's coming after Kyland. I think he's going to put up Xavier and Alyssa together.
But Kyland's, he's already talked about Kyland as his back door.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would love to see it, but I agree that I think Kyland's best move this week would have been taking out Derek X. I mean, all of the reasons that I said for targeting Brittany with winning the $100, getting a dangerous power. Guess who else also got $100 this week? Derek X, and he has so many more comp wins, so much more influence with Hannah, which is a really pivotal a piece in this puzzle, as Frenchie mentioned earlier. I just don't see, and he wasn't picked in the veto either. I mean, let's just pull a Christian from last week and just backdoor him while we can, right?
Which he can do and has the opportunity to do, and he can still do it, even though he's talking Brittany. I know that Azah is trying to get into his ears. Tiffany's actually said a couple things to him that are kind of influencing him a little bit. Ultimately, I think he is going to put Brittany up against DF, but he still has the opportunity to make the right strategic move for him to be able to win the game.
Look, I love Christian to death. I'll say this, right? But gameplay, he's an absolute stud, right? He's an absolute stud. I knew from week 1 that if he didn't get taken out, he was going to go far and take everything, right? Mm-hmm. That's Christian. He's a stud. He can take any comp that he does. That was a respect thing for me. Week 1 was, okay, I'm going after big fish because I respect him and his ability to win everything so much that I have to do this. It was game, not personal. Do you know what I mean? That people are trying to make it personal and it's not.
Right.
But Derek X did that. He did take out Christian, and I think if Derek X wins the HOH next week, I think he's going to make another big move because he's got it in him. And
I think he did make a big move, and I think he will make another big move. And Frenchie will appreciate this. When I got the news that Kyland is thinking about backdooring Brittany, the first words I kind of mumbled to myself, that dog don't hunt.
No.
Nope. That dog does not hunt.
Nope, not one bit.
Mm-mm. And for those,
can I get a translation?
Translation would be that ain't worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's a waste of time.
Thank you. We need subtitles down here for some of this shit.
Yeah. It's that dog don't hunt.
Nope.
That fell a little too far off the turnip truck.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I don't understand it. I'm dumbfounded, to be honest with you. Like, why? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, that's why I said earlier that the donkey costume is.
This week could be the difference between Kyland winning 750 and losing 750.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I really like Kyland. Like, even when he put me up on the block, I went and I made sure that I hugged his neck and was like, look, I have no ill will towards you. I have nothing. Because I honestly put the guy up week 1 because I thought that it was going to be something crazy in that veto. And I trusted him enough to use it the way we needed it done. And I will stick by that. And it's not me bashing Kyland. It's me telling the truth, because he could do so much bigger moves and build his resume. And I wish he was seeing that for himself. You're at the point of the game now where when you sit in that final 2 chair, it's about what you've done, not what you could have done. And
it's also about getting those jury votes.
Yeah.
And blindsiding Brittany by putting her up on the block is not going to get him Brittany's jury vote or Azah's or Derek F's. He's going to lose 3 jury votes with this move.
With one eviction, he's going to lose him 3 votes. That's a horrible.
Whereas if he did Derek X, he doesn't know it, but he wouldn't lose any, because Hannah's ready. She's willing to cut DX. She's willing to take him out at the throat. But he should take that for his resume builder, and he's really going to lose 0 jury votes for that move. And if he owns it, it'll be respected if he's at the end and explains it.
Oh, absolutely. And
yeah.
We're in a complete agreement with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. And one other person I wanted to kind of touch on, because we haven't even mentioned his name tonight, which I think is a good sign for where he's headed. I said on Thursday, I think that Xavier is in the best position in this house. And we saw in this knockout comp tonight that he wasn't even picked until he had to, at the very end, go up and compete. I think like him losing Christian last week was such a great move for his game, because he is now like a free agent. That's a very valuable piece for a lot of like different little groups to want to pick up. And I could see like Xavier having that respect in the end, because he has won comps. He's like had influence like within the cookout, without the cookout as well. He's close to Alyssa, who's now in the jury as well. Frenchie, I would love to hear like your thoughts on Xavier's game. And also, did you know that he was a lawyer until after you came out of the house?
we kind of look. My last, I don't think it was the last day. I think it was the day before the last day. I was going around the house, and I think I started with Claire, and I was like, no, I started with Brittany. I was like, you're a professional pool player, aren't you? Like, just like going around, like saying Claire and like all of us. And Derek F was like, nah, he's a lawyer. And I was like, makes perfect sense. Like, absolutely. And so, I mean, we had to feel it, because he's a good mediator. I don't want to say good. He's a great mediator. Like, when anything happened in that house, he was right there behind as soon as it happened. Boom. He was there to talk. He was there to mediate everything and smooth everything out. He's a smooth talker.
Yeah, I really think he's one to watch moving forward into like this later stage in the game. I like earlier, like a few weeks ago, I was like, Kyland is definitely winning this game. He was my winner pick at the very beginning of the season, but I see Xavier more filling that role of like the ultimate winner of the season instead of Kyland. I like you for all the reasons you just mentioned, Frenchie. I think that Kyland's like jury management is really bad. His like personal relationships are bad. Tiffany is like out to get him and Sarah Beth together at all costs. So for all of those reasons,
can I ask a question? Why do people starting to be so anti Sarah Beth? What did she do? She is such a sweetheart. Like, can somebody answer me that? Because I haven't watched,
So it all started when like Sarah Beth really used a lot of her social capital to target Hannah. When I forget who the HOH was. It wasn't Christian. Whoever was HOH the week before that, I think. But basically, like, she just like really was super aggressive about it. And unfortunately, like, that plan didn't come to fruition, and everybody kind of just like was really unattracted to like how aggressive she was about that. On top of that, her and Kyland, like, they are not a showmance, of course. Like, all respect to like Sarah Beth's like personal relationship outside of the house, of course, but people see them in the house the same way that they view a legit showmance like Christian and Alyssa. Like, that's how tied at the hip that they are, and it's threatening to especially the Cookout, because Sarah Beth is not in the Cookout, and it's kind of putting Kyland between a rock and a hard place, especially in the eyes of Tiffany. Who are you more loyal to? Are you more loyal to the Cookout, or are you more loyal to Sarah Beth, who wasn't even on your original team between like the queens and the kings, right? So for all of those reasons, like, the threat is just like on her by proxy of Kyland, by how aggressive she was pitching against Alyssa and Hannah and people that are still in the game, and being tied to the Kings, which was like a really strong group of four that made it to the individual section of the game intact.
Right. Did we scare off Kim?
I think she had connection issues.
She had an issue, so I just minimized her. When she comes back, I'll bring her back. Do we have any more Patreon questions?
That's everything. I asked a few, just like sprinkled in from like various patrons and everything, but that's it for me in terms of questions and everything.
Who is? Oh, it's Jelly. Yes. Oh yeah. Plus that paranoia. Okay, got you. So I got something funny to tell.
Okay.
That's why where she was. All right. So. Before the season started, right? Kim and I were talking, and she was like, we were talking about something big. Something brought up Big Brother, and we were talking about alliances and stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm on the slaughterhouse." Like, like I told her everything, like the plan wise, before I even went to the house. And at that point, like, I knew I was going. But I didn't tell her that. Do you know what I mean? So when she was like, "What would you do?" Like, oh, here you go. Let me tell you. So, and then when I got in and actually made it, I heard that somebody gave her a little flack for it. So I just wanted to say that.
She said that in our draft, actually. She named the slaughterhouse. She named the butchers. She named all of those things in our draft, saying these are the things she's going to use.
He knew everything.
When when one of the spoiler accounts came out and said a popular sequester player is going to be on the cast, and
that's what started it. Yeah.
All of a sudden my DMs went crazy, but I received a text from Frenchie, and nowhere in the text did he say that he had been cast, but he said, if I'm fortunate enough to get another interview and you are on too, he said, I'll let you know right now, you are my final two. We are the butchers. We're surrounding ourselves with the slaughterhouse, the people that we want to get out. The slaughterhouse, we are going to slaughter them. So that's why when all these people were like, well, the slaughterhouse, this is part of his alliance. No, those are the people he wanted to slaughter. Okay. The only one that he was talking about as his other butcher was DF, because I wasn't there. Because if I had been there, of course it would have been me. But there would have been 3 butchers probably.
And you know what? If you, I would give anything for you to have been in that house, because
that would have been so fun.
Oh no, she would have grabbed me by the ear and been like, "Shut the hell up!
Shut the fuck up, Frenchie! Stop making promises."
Put me in my place. Like, actually, you know what? If I would have walked through the door and seen her in there, I wouldn't have done none of that. I'd have been nope, because I already know what's going to happen. Nope.
Well, if you did do that on your own, I feel like Kim would have told you to do it anyway. So either way, it would have happened. But gosh, what a fun alternate reality that would have been if you guys were in that Big Brother house together
in another universe.
Yeah.
Frenchie, would you play Big Brother again? We have a lot of people in the chat wanting to know. Would you play again if they approached you like another, like an all-stars or something?
I don't know if I'd consider myself an all-star, but I would do like a
Returnee.
yeah. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, I'd play.
I mean, David was an all-star last year, so I think the bar is almost non-existent for
What are you trying to say? You're trying to say my bar is non-existent there?
No, I'm saying like don't ever say that like you aren't an all-star, because Frenchie, you had such a legacy in the short amount of time you were in the Big Brother house. Like, people are going to be talking about your time in the Big Brother house and just like the chaos that you like elevated for this entire season. Like, I'm telling you, Frenchie, like this season would not be as fun and as fluid and like just like crazy complex if it weren't for you kind of catapulting that for us this season. So to me, that's an all-star.
Honestly,
just 5 weeks later, and they're still talking about you in the house.
Yeah, exactly. So that to me is all-star material.
We're not talking about Travis.
Seriously, you don't hear him bringing up Travis.
Wow.
Very seldom do you hear Brent's name come up. You don't hear Whitney's name really hasn't come up. And the only reason Christian's name has come up is because Alyssa is working her way out of that horizontal manifestation. We'll leave it at that. And
can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Speaking of an alternate universe, okay, if I could go back from day one and redo what I would do, I would take Derek F, obviously the Jokers. I would leave that as the number one alliance. The second, or I don't want to say number one. I would make that obviously the teams we would, but Travis, Brent, like Travis, I started to get to know before he left the house, and we had some really good talks too. Like, I sincerely enjoyed talking to him and being around Travis. I robbed Travis of plenty of weeks in that house. I'll just say it. I think that, after knowing him outside of the house in the last part of the time that he was there from our talks outside, Travis went too soon, in my opinion. But I did what I did, and it is.
And here's what I'm going to say about that, Frenchie, and you touched on it in your exit with Julie, and then I'll be done for the night. But as much as what you say is probably better for your game of $750,000, the impact that you had on who you got in and the people that you protected and the people that you saved, in my opinion, is way more important for the legacy of our society and for the legacy of Big Brother than the $750,000. And the fact that trend continued after you left is because of what you did and the precedent that you set. And to me, I know it's harder to say because I didn't lose $750,000, but that impact and that legacy is greater than any amount of money.
And that's why I can sit here and laugh and joke and what if I would have, because at the end of the day, what I did had an impact, and people can say that I'm the worst player in Big Brother history, but they'll still talk about me for a while.
And I don't think that you are like I don't think you're the worst player in Big Brother history by any means, Frenchie. So if anybody is saying that to you, like, they don't know their history in the game. So
true.
Look, I didn't want to be a life jacket the whole way through and float the whole way through the game. I didn't. I came in there with a Barry Bonds baseball bat, and I smacked me a steroids home run. Like, I steroided up, and I made a big move, and I didn't steroid up. Nobody I was trying to make a Barry Bonds reference, but whatever. But yeah, I smacked it out of the park, and at the end of the day, no matter how it got there, my end goal was met. So everybody wants to focus on how it got there, but they forget about what happened at the end. It was met. Mm-hmm. It was met. So everybody complaining can just realize that the end goal was met. I don't care how I had to get there, I got there. So.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you got to live, like, even if for just like 2 or 3 weeks, like, you still got to live out like all of, like, I can speak for all of us here, but like even like the people watching at home and stuff like that, like, you got to live out like one of our biggest, like, bestest dreams. So like, even though it wasn't like you didn't like walk away with like 750,000, like, it's still like such a dream and an honor to play. So
it was amazing. And you know, like, just from watching the show for so many years, like, I'm telling all these people, like, if you are a backseat Big Brother player, meaning that you try to tell us how to play the game in the house, and like, when you walk in those doors yourself, we're talking to fans everywhere. When you walk in that door for yourself, you're going to understand. And then you're going to message us and you're going to be like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I understand it. So it's easy to talk big when you don't understand what really goes on.
I've got 2 questions for you. I know the answers, but so Frenchie, how many 2-liter bottles of Coke did you go through, and why?
Probably 10. Probably 10 if I had to guess. Seriously. But why is because my kids, when I was hugging them by, I used to smoke, and my kids asked me to quit while I was going on Big Brother, and they said that it would be a perfect time to quit. So in the Big Brother house, and I had to do something to do. That's why I walked around. Like, everybody was like, oh, you're just trying to figure out stuff in the house. No, I was having a nicotine fit. Like, I wanted a cigarette, so I was walking around the house, like, just to kind of, like, you know.
I feel like that is not the environment to do that. So props to you for being able to. That's very, very difficult.
I think that was another thing. Like, had I had cigarettes in the house and I would have been able to smoke and like pull out, it would have been totally different, because I wouldn't have like caused that much chaos, because I would have been able to think clearly and been like, all right, look, let's think about this for a minute. But me quitting cold turkey, I was just like, you know what? All right, whatever. And I mean, I was fine. I'm fine now. I'm still smoke free, you know, but, and at the end of the day, like, if I gained anything from Big Brother, I gained my health back, you know.
That's good.
There you go.
And I asked him, my follow-up to him when he told me this was, what about when you were outside in the backyard and DF was lighting up?
It literally like made me want to throw up. Like,
that happens with a lot of people who quit smoking. When you're around it, it's like you can't stand it.
Yeah. Like, I would have him blow it my direction just so that like I could be like, all right, yeah, I definitely never want to touch this again.
That's
like
cool.
And he knows that, and that's why he would do it. And you know, he helped me in the house, because he was like, nah, because there was times where I would like pick up his pack of cigarettes and he was like, if you touch those, I swear to God, like, you quit. Like, he knew I quit. So, you know, like he helped. He was a big help in the house.
Well, I just want you to know some of my family members have been in the chat. My mom and dad said you're the man. They absolutely love you. And my sister-in-law wants you to come. She's like, you need to come back on this show ASAP. So we're all big. Listen, Memphis, Clarksville, you know, not that far away.
We're not. And actually, here in the next couple months, I think there's a big cattle show right outside of Memphis. So I'll be that way soon. Got some cows and stuff.
Can you imagine me at a cattle show?
Yeah, come on.
I could.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. Yes, Allison, I can imagine you at a cattle show.
Frenchie, there's something you need to know about me. I don't go outside. I break out if grass touches me. I'm like it would probably be funny if I came to your farm and you tried to teach me how to milk a cow and do stuff and scoop poop. That would probably be cool.
I've got to see this. I need to see Allison go to Clarksville and birth a goat and
This is like
and
the
milk
Simple
a
Life
cow.
where Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie did an episode.
Simple life. Yeah,
Yeah.
Can
exactly.
you? Oh my God, it would be amazing. Do
All
it,
right,
Allison.
Allison,
Do it.
set it up.
We'll
Set
set
it
it
up.
up. We'll make it happen.
Set it up. We're gonna make it.
Frenchie, do you have anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to get out there?
Yeah.
Yes. Follow your dreams, please. If somebody from BFE Tennessee can get on Big Brother because I followed my dreams, you can too. I promise. You can too. You just have to be confident in yourself and tell yourself that you can do it and you can achieve. And that goes with anything in life, not just Big Brother. And another thing, we are doing stuff for the Hearts of Reality. I actually hung out with Omar and all them last night.
Nice.
Yes, in Nashville. We was all hanging out. And I just, if you get a chance, like, even if it's not my page, look, I think Whitney has a page. I think all of us have a page. Even if it's not me, go to one of the pages, do something to 25 cents, 1 penny helps these kids. It all goes to the kids. And a lot of people think that they're giving us money, and that's not the case. It's you're helping these kids Give Kids the World. Like, just please. And even if it's that, just find something of your choice. And the main thing I want to say, and I'm sorry, I know I feel like I'm ranting right now.
No, you're fine.
But for those people that want to spread negativity and hate about any of us, I don't care who it is, past Big Brother players now, if you took the energy that you put into spreading all this hate about us and these bullshit rumors, if you took that energy for 5 seconds and tried to turn it into something positive, imagine the good that you could do. Imagine the good that the whole BB community could do if it was taken from a negative aspect and put that energy into something positive. It could be amazing.
Well, I think we're certainly headed that way, Frenchie. Like, especially with like this cast and like the changes that have been made to like the diversity and just like the level of like complexity and like fan like amongst like the average player in this game. I think that's the direction we're heading, and I think that a lot of that is going to fall on the shoulders of you and the rest of your cast to kind of usher in like this new era of Big Brother towards like more positivity, more understanding, and all of that good stuff. So keep doing what you're doing.
I sure hope so, because I've already had to involve the FBI for death threats. So
that's horrible.
Into a positive direction.
Wow.
And that's not just with me. That's with all of us. Like, be positive. Kindness is free, guys. Kindness is free, and I get that from Brent. Brent tells me that kindness is free. So that's a quote from Brent.
And I'll tell you, and anyone who wants to call bullshit on whether he has or has not, Frenchie, actually, he's screen capped. I know the name of at least one person, at least 2 people that have provided death threats, and it's completely unacceptable. One of them was probably the worst thing I've ever seen, and that's not okay. So please, no one's saying you've got to agree with game moves. No one's got to say you've got to agree with anything with anyone, but please just remember that they are people. Their relatives didn't ask for this. Okay.
Yeah.
They signed up and got cast, but their relatives did not. So let's just make sure that we're being at least decent humans, even if we don't agree with something going on, because it's really, really not acceptable what I saw 2 weeks ago when you sent that over to me. And I was literally speechless and stunned to the extent of what it was.
Right. Like, when I read that, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I blocked it the first time, and then they kept coming back with different screen names saying the same thing, and I was like, "All right." So I just turned it over to the FBI, and they found out who it was. So
okay, good.
I won't
It's really bad.
That was on this person. So
Okay. The second question that I had though, Frenchie, what is your favorite Southern saying? What did your daddy teach you?
Dadgummit. Like,
Well,
look,
we heard that one.
everybody thinks I say dadgummit because that's a southern term, but I don't. I say deadgum. And my grandpa used to say that. God rest his soul. He used to say, because he'd be like, "This is worse than chewed gum." You know how gum gets flavorless and like just done, like it pretty much dead. And so he would be like, "Dead gummit," and I'd be like, "All right." So I just used that ever since, you know. And like, does a one-legged duck swim in a circle? Like, if somebody asks me something, I'll be like, "Does a one-legged duck swim in a circle?" And my sister will say something, and we'll be like, "Does a 5-pound bag of flour make a really big biscuit?" Like,
I love that.
I love it.
Wow. Allison, it's your turn though.
I went to a birthday dinner the other day, and I was sitting there, and I was like, I can't eat anymore. I'm fuller than a tick on a 10-day suck.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Frenchie knows.
Yeah.
Frenchie knows. And I love the way you said Nashville.
Nashville?
Yeah, because everybody's like, Nashville, Clarksville. I'm like, no, it's Nashville.
Bull. Yeah.
Bull. It's bull. Thank you.
Like the people in Louisville. Like, I'm like, Louisville? You talking about
Louisville? You're talking about Louisville? What's a Louisville?
And
it's Missouri, not Missouri.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, well, we're getting a little bit bitchy here, the two of you. What about
Look, people want to
we're just making sure they're coming correct. You know?
We just want to make sure. There's a million different ways to say bless your heart. Like, bless your heart, or bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Just stop.
Lord child.
Lord have mercy.
Lord
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yes.
Not today, Satan.
And Beth is over here in the chat, and she was saying, because she helped to run Steve Moses when his socials when he was in the house. So that would be in 2017. And she said it was amazing the kind of horrible things that people would say to us as family and friends. People can be awful sometimes. And unfortunately, Frenchie, you've experienced it. I'm sure that everybody else has so far that's come out of the house. And even the winners, Steve Moses was a winner. But Bruno Aiello from BB Can said one of the most prolific things to me. He said, you know what? You can be universally loved when you're on Big Brother. You could be the best person ever. But if you're responsible for taking out somebody's favorite, they are going to hate you just for taking out a favorite. So just something for everyone to keep in the back of their minds as they come out of the house, and you can feel free to share that and let them know Bruno said it. So,
yeah. Yep. Y'all stop being nasty. I've done had it listening to this. Leave Frenchie alone. Leave these people alone. It's a fucking game. Get a life. Stop being these little keyboard troll warriors acting like you got some balls.
And
stop
being
it.
mean to Brent.
Stop it.
Stop
Leave
being
them.
mean to Whitney. Stop being mean to Christian. Stop being mean to Travis. I don't think anybody's mean to Travis, but I'm sure somebody in the world is. Stop it, damn it. They're all amazing people. And stop trying to pin us against each other too. It's not going to work.
Yes. For any cast, like you guys are really just like one big family after the whole season's like done and everything. So, but with that being said, Frenchie, thank you so much for for making the time to come on our show, to give Preston some tough questions. I hope we didn't press you too hard or anything like that, but we had a really great time talking all things Big Brother and beyond with you. And we would love to have you back at any time if you would like to come back and everything.
Absolutely. So. Hey, somebody said, how come I always wear a hat to me earlier today? And I just want to answer that question on this podcast right here. All right. Look, the reason I always wear a hat is because I got kind hair. All right. I got the kind of hair that grows on a goat's ass. and you don't want to see it. So I cover it up. So there's your answer.
Kind
I
of
love
hair.
it.
500 DMs saying, I've never seen you without a hat. You ain't going to. Nobody's going to. So
Because he's got kind of hair.
I got
Yes.
so that's why.
I love
Thank you
it.
so much, Frenchie.
And Frenchie, where can we find you on social media?
If you want to be found.
If you want to be found.
Farmer Frenchie on everything, except, look, here's the thing. I don't really care about social media numbers and all that. I will say this, though. You don't have to focus on finding me on social media, but I would love it if you would at least find one charity on any platform that you're on and just follow them. Just follow them. Bring more awareness to them. Hey, it's absolutely free. That's all you have to do. Go find a charity, hit follow. That's all you got to do. So
But you are on Instagram.
I am
Under Farmer, or is it Farmer Frenchie?
I think so. I can't scroll down to look at it. I think it is. I think it's Farmer Frenchie _. I think is what it is. They changed jobs in the house.
Okay.
All right. Well, and Kim, thank you so much for connecting us to Frenchie. We love you to pieces here at My Weekly Meltdown, and anytime we get to have Kim on the show is equally as I'm equally as starstruck. So thank you for getting us together and everything.
Now that I'm comfortable with y'all, if we ever do this again, just know I'm bringing the full donkey out next time. So you're gonna.
Hey, we're ready. We're ready. Just tell us when. We'll make it happen.
Right. Hey,
The next show will start in 38 minutes.
All right.
No,
well,
Frenchie, I told you to be casual and everything, and you are going to be on again because you've already made that promise after DF is out at the end of the season, so that we'll make sure, right, Allison, Tyler?
Yes.
Make sure that we have Frenchie and DF on together because we can just sit back and let them shoot the shit and spill the tea.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Tell you what, with us together is going to be very entertaining. But let's not make it that long because he's not coming out to the damn confetti falls. So.
Amen.
That's right. That's right.
Don't sleep on Derek F.
Don't sleep on Derek F. I've been saying it for weeks now. Everybody's jumping on my coattails.
Yeah.
I said it first.
Yes, I agree. So let's not make it that long. You know, don't be no strangers.
Okay, Allison,
right, well,
you got his info.
Yes,
that's right. I do. Be aware.
All right. Well,
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well, everybody have a great rest of your night. We will be back on Thursday to talk about the next HOH, who ends up getting evicted here. Probably Brittany, but we shall see. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where the house is headed and the state of the house, all that fun stuff. But everybody have a great rest of your night. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.